throughout these 10 years of your work relationship, have you guys ever felt like khatam, like abhi to tere raste mein mere raste?
Never. At least I don't think so.
No.
Tell me something about the name MuseLAB.
Everyone thought it's like amusing elephant,
Yeah,
like funny
yeah.
elephant, but it's
Yeah.
actually like amusing elephant.
Yeah.
So I think we did pick up muse from there.
Lab,
Yeah.
science, chemical lab.
You're starting off your company, and how did two of you meet? And
It's a love story.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think
hey guys, today we've got our dear friends Jasem and Huzi on our Shu Khabar Podcast. Okay, but before we start, guys, let's get your pronunciations right, because the other day somebody was calling you Jasem, and I don't know, people
I
have
think you
different-
got it right the first time.
And the other day, while we were making invites for you guys, Dhairya came with like some weird spellings for Huzefa, and I have saved his name as Whozy. Okay, so I don't know. He came up with his own version of Huzefa. He came with his own version of Jasem. So okay, let's get your names right. So here we have.
Huzefa. It's WHOZAYFAAH.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's the only way you can remember my name. It's Huzefa.
Okay, but that's not your real.
That's not the spelling.
No, that's not the spelling.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
That's the pronunciation.
That's the pronunciation. You asked to get it right. This is the only way people can get my name right.
Now spell it.
Yeah,
Huzefa.
but that's so simple. Huzefa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it become Muzefa, Mufasa, Muzaffar. I become places.
There's no
animals.
trace of M
Yes.
in that name, but you're then. Okay.
Yes.
And Jasem.
That's correct. That's the right pronunciation. Jasem. Jasem.
Okay, so we've got Huzi and Jas with us today. They run this super successful and crazy studio which is called MuseLAB. They're the Muse boys in front of us. They do some interesting work in architecture, interiors, furniture, and products. And they also get into art, right? I've seen that one art with that Olu,
Klosh.
no, Olu disc walu ane ina upar ek bird ki kaik betu tuke. What was that?
What was that?
What are you
You know
talking
that
about?
there's staircase and there's this big piece that you put.
Oh, no, that's not done by us.
Oh, but you got it commissioned.
Yes.
Yeah, but whose idea was that? Yours.
No, it was
no, it
Shailesh's
was the-
idea.
Oh, okay. I thought that you guys got it commissioned,
No,
like the
I
idea
think
that you
he's
had.
talking about Samir's, the bird.
That.
So-
Yeah. No. So we do collaborate with a lot of artists and but yeah.
Okay, so architecture, interiors, furniture, products, and art. Like, it's insane. You guys also have a 3D printer.
Yes, we do.
I know.
I think everyone has a 3D printer.
Oh, now, no. Really?
Yeah.
Not really. I know when I was buying a 3D printer, I called you and I took all the updates on which model and which this and which that. And I too got one. Yeah.
What? You what?
I also got one.
Okay, that's great. No. I think you spoke to Fahim from the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I spoke to you first and
Yes.
you hooked me up with
Yeah.
Fahim and all of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he was like, nice. He gave me all the details. Cool. So now that we've got the names right of Muse Boys, okay, let's get into knowing. Give us your background, like architect. So let's start with Huzi.
So I wanted to be a chemical engineer.
What?
Yes.
Chemical engineer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never knew that there was a profession for architects or called architecture. I had no clue about it. I was good at art, but I think in my 12th standard, I did score like a reasonably well percentage in my PCM, and I was almost heading towards becoming a chemical engineer. But then I didn't get admission to the college that I wanted, and I was then going to be going somewhere in New Bombay, and I was too much of a South Bombay guy. So I decided
Which he still is,
not to accept admission out there. And then architecture just happened by chance. One of my mom's friend's daughter was studying at Rachna Sansad Academy of Architecture. And she said that, why don't you apply here? And I'm like, I don't know what this is. So I went, I saw what she did. I liked what she did. And that was the only profession.
Architect by accident.
Like completely by accident. Yeah. So at that point in time, I think Rachna's was the only college that was, because they were, I think, they were not a degree school. They were an autonomous college.
That diploma thing.
Yeah. And then they had like a government diploma in architecture eventually. So I gave my entrance exam. I scored shit. I mean, my perspectives were like dirty, like I did like screwed up axonometrics because I didn't know what a perspective was. I could draw really nicely, but I didn't know what a perspective was. So I had a very good score in my PCM, and I got like a decent score in my aptitude test or the entrance test. And then, I was in like the top 10 over there. So I got into architecture. And then I did.
Listen, if I was client listening to this, I'd be shitting in my pants so far.
So I hope no client is listening to this. But yeah, I mean, and then I used to be very competitive. I don't know if I still am, but I used to be. So then I really like did very well in those 5 years of architecture. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. And then after that, worked for 2 years, went to the US, did my master's at Georgia Tech. And it was interesting. It was a master's in digital manufacturing. It was a 1 year post-professional program.
Digital manufacturing. So that's nothing to do with architecture.
No, it is. So it was a master's in architecture with a focus on design of digital manufacturing. So at that time, I'm talking about 2004 because we clearly are like relics over here. So way back then, once upon a time in 2004, I did my master's in digital manufacturing. So I mean, at that time, it was all about digital design, but Zaha had just started, doing a lot of digital manufacturing where you start using the CNC milling machines, 3D printers. And Georgia Tech was really good because there was a lot of programs over there, so a lot of cross-pollination of, between architecture students, between engineering students, between computer science. So we could do a lot of coding, we could do computational fluid dynamics. So it was very interesting as a program just for a year. But so I did my undergrad, my master's in that, and then worked in Atlanta for 3 years, came back to India, worked with Hafiz for 3 years, and then Jasem and I started MuseLAB. Up to him, over to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fast one. I've got a few questions there, but okay, Jas, come on.
Yeah, no, I think it's very strange, but I was probably in like 3rd or 4th grade, and I was just in my free time drawing buildings that I had seen. Like random buildings, not like known things, or I didn't know what architecture was also, but like very random buildings that I would visit, and if the elevation stuck in my head, I would draw it. And I still have those sheets actually. I have never even shown it to Huzefa.
Oh, really? We should
It's really bad.
No, we should see it. Okay.
So that just stuck. And then, I think that's the last time when my parents got their house made, I met that architect, and she was so well spoken. I was so impressed. Her name was Lalita Das. I remember this, and I was like, I'm going to be an architect.
Okay.
So in my head, it was always clear that it would be architecture. But when it came to applying for colleges, I was like, okay, if it is not architecture, I thought it would always be something related to art and design. So I applied for colleges in the US, and I don't know why, but I guess that bug had bitten me that I want to go to the US. And so I applied to RISD, I applied to Savannah College of Art and Design. So I purposely applied to colleges that focused only on art and design programs. And then I ended up at SCAD, Savannah, and I did a 5-year program there. But yes, my first year there, during the foundations course, you meet other art and design students. And in the first semester, probably on the 2nd or 3rd day, I thought, oh, film sounds exciting. Maybe I should do film. So I called back home.
What?
Okay. And film as in not acting, but like, I thought direction sounds great, or writing or something. So I called back home and there was silence on the other end because you're playing and then I got the answer, so I put the phone down. I was like, okay, I think I'll stick to it. But then I again had my doubts in the 2nd year, of college. And I went up to my professor, who was my sort of confidant there, and I told her that like I'm just not feeling it. I'm not sure if this is what I want to do at all times. So she taught me. Well, she said one thing and taught me one thing. She said, "It's if you want to switch, that's fine. Take your time. You can switch to something else." That's not the answer my mom gave. My mom said, "If not this, what else?" And I had no answer for that either. So I said, "Okay, so my mom's answer was stick to it till you figure it out." So here we are. But that professor said, it's okay to doubt. It's okay to doubt yourself, and it's okay to doubt what you're doing.
Nice.
But don't let it get to you. Let it challenge you, and that keeps you on your toes.
Right.
So that was my takeaway, and here we are.
Wow, that's such a cool piece of advice. But did that help you? Like, what happened after that?
No, so
you kept on
I think
thinking-
so I
Well, he still doubts me. but you see how that works now, right?
No, I stuck to it, and I enjoyed every moment of it. And I think like by then that maturity came in that, okay, yeah, I mean, with this, once you're equipped with good education, it may be in anything, you can do whatever you want after that, and it's architecture is a form of an applied art. So you can apply that in many ways. There's so many, layers to it. So, yeah.
Wow, this is so interesting. So, Huzi, when you said that you were almost going to be a chemical engineer, right? I mean, when I wanted to be an architect since I was in my 5th grade, okay? And when I gave my architecture entrance exam, okay? No, also because I studied A levels, all right? So my grades were coming much later than the regular Maharashtra board exam grades were coming, and that entire admission process. I would have had to lose 1 year. Okay. And so Preeti asked me if I wanted to do something else or if I wanted to stick to this. And I was like, you know what? I'm not leaving this. Even if I have to wait for 1 year to get an admission, I would rather do that than picking up anything else. Because that's just going to dilute. Like I had to be like focused on one thing. I can't do like multiple things at a time. But thankfully something happened and we got in, and you know how these management quota works and all of that. So but even then, okay, it was so stupid because I got my even expected grades, I guess in August or something, is when we went and we met somebody and we spoke to the management saying that I don't want to lose a year, like please accept us. And that's why I had to go to like Panvel to study. Okay. But did it not give you like how he had second thoughts after like in his second year, right? That you still wanted to go back to chemical engineering?
So I'm very headstrong. Once I decide something, I give my all to it, and I am a multitasker also. I've always been a multitasker. So I think for me, the minute I started architecture, like I did very well in all those 5 years, and I really enjoyed it. And maybe some things just have to happen like this. You don't have to, like he was meant to be that. You were meant to be that because you guys were very clear from day one.
Yeah.
Maybe you were also younger than me, so maybe by 4 years later, people spoke about architecture. Maybe 4 years before, people did not. And he found out that something like architecture exists. I did not. I don't know. But I think it was just meant to be. So I think, again, like I said, that when I got into that first, it was tough. I mean, the first, when you join first year architecture for the first 3 months, you're just drawing lines.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a doubt, that what am I doing? I'm just here to draw lines. But I think then it was just about trusting the process.
Right.
In some way, we had very, very good faculty in the first and second year. Beyond that, I don't know. But I think, I think I can say it now. We're pretty established to be able to say it now. Yeah. So I think it's fine. But I think we had very, very good faculty, very good, guides in the first and second year. And I just had to trust them. And eventually, like, I think I'm proud to say that I topped all 5 years of college. So, and even when I went to Georgia Tech, like after working. So after I graduated, the first place that I worked at, it did teach me a lot of things that I should not be doing. So I think for me, even though like when I see that I've started my practice when I was 32 or 33 years old, that's very late. A lot of people start their practice when they are 25, 26 or then that's great. But I think two things. One is that I'm glad I waited it out because I learned so much
Yeah.
with everyone,
Right.
and in every place that I worked at, and there was never a doubt. Like I knew that if I stick to it, something or the other will happen. And I guess yeah, maybe that this is where we are
But
at
so
right now.
was it so? These are two different lines. He wanted to do perhaps architecture and he got into arts and all of that, right? Because it is still related to the design field. You were like completely north south, okay?
Yeah.
So do you think if I had put you under like say to study doctor, would you have done that the similar way?
I would have done anything. Yeah, I think I'm one of those guys.
Wow.
Yeah, I would
He'll
have.
survive the survivor's
Yeah.
challenge. Yeah. No, I'll be out in the first step. That's Squid Games. I'll be the first one squashed.
Oh, no, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, Huzi,
Yes.
we have heard like a very interesting story about your payment of the school fees.
Arey, yaar. This is nothing. This is about a goat eating my school fees.
How? How can a fucking goat eat your
Like
school
the
fee?
dog eats your homework like that.
No, but it didn't happen. I
But
was
this happened for real.
Yeah, but I was like in the second or third standard, and it was one of those things where my mom threw the fees from the second floor, and it fell down on the road, and there was a goat over there, and I was too scared of the goat, and the goat came and ate the fees, which was wrapped in paper, and my mom was yelling from top that "Jo fees khaegi," and I'm like, okay, tomorrow this might just be nihari or whatever it is, I don't know what, but maybe she went and she fought with the kasai or something, I don't know, I don't know, but yeah, goat ate my school fees. Can we move on? This is not about what we're supposed to discuss.
This is going to make it in the
The headlines. The goat ate my school fees. Okay.
Yeah, okay, the goat ate.
So
Now that's what the client will tell you. The goat is the fees I
That's why we can't give hints here. The goat ate my. The goat ate your fees.
Somebody watching after watching this episode, somebody actually messages you, buddy. The goat ate your fees.
This goes straight to Zina. I just raised an invoice. The goat ate my invoice.
Do you have any one professor from your college days that you remember of, and any one thing that has changed your entire student year?
So, I mean, not exactly with me personally, but I think in my thesis year, our entire studio, we were not necessarily asked to the result didn't have to be a design of a building or a space. It was up to us, given the thesis and the abstract that we
Yeah.
established.
Yeah.
If the end result in that, if we ended up designing a space jacket or a helmet also, that was quite acceptable. Because
Oh, wow.
there again, the professor said, it's not, you have your whole life to make buildings and you will make good buildings because you will work. The
Wow.
truth is, you will work for someone else first, hopefully,
Right,
right?
right.
And that person is going to ensure that you understand what good building design is. But this, in your college, in your thesis year, right, at your expense is when you can experiment. So this is the time to experiment and kind of push yourself.
Right.
Because out there, you have to make a building.
Correct.
But this is what will kind of help the study here or the learning from here will help you push out there as well. But so we were actually encouraged to, I mean, it wasn't compulsory or necessary, but we were encouraged to think that way.
Wow.
It didn't have to be a building at the end.
Wow, I wish like this just like, filters into like our education system as well, Inshallah, if it doesn't, I'm
But
telling
I
you.
think it has now. I don't
Where,
think
yeah?
it is.
I mean, like, there's
as,
still like, and the best way to judge this system is when you have interns coming to you. There's so many interns who come, and it's just like handful that you can say like who've got like, and you can also know that it is not the college that is imparting this knowledge to them. It is that person himself or herself who's willing to do something beyond their capacity, beyond their comfort zone, and they're doing this.
But I think that's in most cases, right? Because you may have a good professor, but if someone's not a self-starter or doesn't push themselves, they may have the best education available to them, but are they making the most of it?
Yeah, but at least you would see it in the blueprints, no? You may not see that person being the best in that, but at least in that blueprints you will have that reflection of the education that has been given to them. Anyway, that's besides the topic though. But have you had anything, or you were like indifferent, or like you were like whatever? Why? Okay, why I'm asking you is because the work that you do today, okay, is not straight lines. It's very quirky. It's out of the box. It's different. Okay, which I am sure if I hadn't studied it like in my timeline, maybe because you've had an international exposure and so did you after like when you went for your masters. But if you had to, when you studied here, what was it like? Because what we are doing today collectively, I would say, okay, is nothing that what we studied or what we were taught.
No, so like Jasem said, see, it really first depends on me as an individual, and I'll talk about myself. I know that my first 2 years in college, I was very good, but I was not innovative. I was safe. I was going by the books, and I was doing what I felt was good design, but I don't think it was exceptional. But I know that in the fourth year, when we had an elective in interiors, and my faculty, my guide was Rajesh Patel. And at that time, I created this sort of a very deconstructed studio space for Thierry Mugler. He's a French fashion designer. And that project was basically, it was very different from what I was doing all along. And that just showed me that I could think a little differently. I don't need to not always be lateral thinking. It can also be, like maybe it can just go off and you can still come back. And he guided me through that. But like Jasem said, that for me, like pedagogy in the US is very, very different, So when you go there, and like you said, that they literally, they never criticize us or any of us for, our shortcomings. In fact, even if there were like 3 good things and 7 bad things, they would not focus on the 7 bad things. They would really think about those 3 good things, and they would, and our entire designs were developed off that, And I think that was the most amazing thing. So there was this professor, Monica Ponce de Leon, who was my guide for that entire 1 year at Georgia Tech. I mean, she was a guide for my elective and also for a design studio. She was exceptional. Like she used to come from Boston to Atlanta. But I know that, she was always available. And just like you spoke about, this one person, she helped me. But I think what was important is that I was also like at all points in time showing that, yes, I mean, it's not about, okay, now you guide me. I mean, you don't want everything, you don't want to be spoon-fed, right?
Sure.
Like, I mean, at the end, you need to take that initiative.
Right.
And I think when your faculty sees that you are taking that initiative, they themselves feel inspired. Because when I taught, and after I came back, I taught at Academy for a semester, and I was teaching 12 students, and yes, it was one day, and I used to get exhausted because from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And from those 12 students, I would only feel like 5 are actually listening to me or want, that kind of input. The remaining 7, no matter how much, and I knew I was giving my 200%. But the remaining 7 just were not getting it. So I think when I put myself in their shoes, or let's say, in the shoes of the people who taught me, I'm like, okay, it's not entirely their fault. You can't blame, the education system, whatever it is. I mean, we can all work around it. But like he said, that I need to be a self-starter. I mean, for me, coming from that whole school of thought that I want to be a chemical engineer, to then, do a complete 360 and accept architecture as a profession, it has to come from within.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have just been like one of those guys ke kahin pe nahi mila to architecture karo. And I would have been in that category, right? Because there were tons of those also in my class.
Yeah, of course.
Ke kahin pe nahi mila, and I was like, damn, am I one of those guys? I'm like, no, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be that because I'm meant to be one. I'm meant to be an architect. So, yeah.
So tell us about your starting of your company, and how did 2 of you meet? And
it's a love story.
So
Jasem narrates it really nicely. Like,
okay, nice.
Cue music. I has to be like I think I'm gonna play the violin.
This is a really cool idea that I should have a music for Shu Khabar. I'm going to get somebody to do that for me. Nice. Thank you so much.
Pagal the aise, but okay, I can just like play the violin right now.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think...
How long did you guys know each other before starting up the studio together?
Which was the year?
2005 to 2012. So, yeah, 7 years.
Oh, wow. You guys worked together?
No,
how was
nothing.
wow.
So no, so Huzefa was actually as Huzefa ended up at Georgia Tech, but he had also applied to SCAD.
I had been accepted.
He had been accepted, but we didn't end up meeting then. But another friend of Huzefa's ended up coming to Savannah, and one long weekend, Huzefa ended up coming to Savannah, and I think all of us hung out, and yeah, we hit it off right away. And
Wow.
next thing you know, like I think there was another friend also involved in this love story. So Ankita, she's in Dubai now, and so Ankita, Huzefa, and me, we used to be on a con call every night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every night,
Those days,
without fail. Yeah, those days. And in the US, it was free talk time after 8 p.m. to morning 7 a.m. free talk time. So we would be, it would be like over an hour and a half. We would just be on a call. So-
I know that.
Yeah. So, anyways, but I don't think even back then we ever thought that we'd be doing something together. But because we became friends, and we of course connected over travel as well. So we did a few trips, long weekends here and there, and therefore Huzefa moved back. We did one big hooray trip to Mexico. We were there for 2 weeks backpacking, and at that time we were joking that one day we'll have a company that'll be kind of making T-shirts. We were talking about designing T-shirts, and we even came up with a really sad name for it. Okay, and it basically it would be a place that made T-shirts. At night it would turn into a lounge or a club, and we said we'll call it Warehouse. Okay, but
There is a lot to warehouse.
But the way we would spell warehouse would be where as in W-A-R-E, and then J-A and U-Z. So because we were in Mexico, the J became silent as house.
Yeah.
But then we were like, in India, it will become warehouse. So
Warehouse.
warehouse. So we were like, okay, that never took off
Okay.
for obvious reasons, I guess.
Okay.
But
But that's not a bad idea if you still wanted to restart.
No, eventually there'll be something that will happen. But,
With warehouse.
Not with warehouse, but maybe something else.
but
Yeah.
then it was that, and then after that I think
2008, yeah, I came
2008 Huzefa moved back, and in 2010 I moved back. I worked with Pinakin Patel for a year, and post that I think it just there was of course a moment where my dad went through a health scare, and that was a little jolt also that I think I need to shake things up for myself as well. And that's when I thought that, okay, maybe it's time to do something on my own or figure it out. And for about 5-6 months, I was trying to figure it out. And within that time, Huzefa also said that, he was wanting a change to do things differently. And then that's how we started. But we started by going on another trip for 2 weeks to Sri Lanka. And that's the first thing I told my dad. And my dad said, what? You start a company and you go on a holiday. What sort of a company is this? And you know what his response was like? 14 days? Kya karega? 4 days is enough. I said, it's not Lonavala. So my dad saying Lonavala 1 day is enough.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I mean, imagine we were like close to being bankrupt, and then we took off on this trip. But
Yeah.
So how old were you at that time?
I was 28, I think.
And you?
32.
Wow. Interesting. So tell me something about the name MuseLAB.
So we debated a lot. Okay, I think that
I want to know all the ideations of like the names that you had for your.
No, it was so his hand. He actually had a blog called Amusing Elephant.
Right.
But everyone thought it's like amusing elephant,
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
elephant, but it's
Yeah.
actually like amusing elephant.
Yeah.
So I think we did pick up muse from there, and I mean it's like to muse is to think. Muse is also an inspiration. So there are many things that can
Right.
come from that. And then we were like, okay, what do we add? We didn't want to call it like atelier or studio and any of those things. We were like, okay, we wanted to be a little different, and why not? I mean,
Yeah,
because
you
when
guys are different,
So-
for sure.
Lab,
Yeah.
science, chemical lab.
so it wasn't really that. So we actually we thought we would call it Muse Kitchen.
Kitchen.
Yes.
Because we're cooking up a
We're
stock.
cooking up. Yeah. So and then I think we stuck to
No,
lab,
and then I
yeah.
was in Dehradun and I saw there was a restaurant there called Muse Kitchen.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
sent
remember
you a
this.
picture. This was after we started MuseLab, but I did send him a
Shit,
picture.
I don't know about this. Okay, so anyways, but then we decided to stick to a lab because laboratories are where trial and error happens, there are explosions, you do research and development, and there's a lot of stuff. So then MuseLab just we stuck to it. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, but I mean, that also gets screwed up, like our names, MuseLAB, and like I don't know what else. I mean, people really, I don't know. I think it's like the like butchered the names of two butchered parents when we give birth to a child, and that's also getting butchered. It's like MuseLAB. People have walked in our old office thinking it's like a blood testing
Yeah,
laboratory.
path lab.
Yeah, like
यहाँ
a path
test
lab.
होता है क्या?
Wow.
And our,
So
our
that kind
old
of stuff
office
has
was
happened,
probably
yeah.
as big as this studio.
Right.
As soon as you entered, there was a little pantry with a refrigerator.
So they thought
And
that
so-
we keep blood
so-
over there. No, seriously, that fridge है ना. So Ganesh would be like, I mean, sir, मैं क्या? Anyways.
Tell me, when you guys started, did you guys have any projects in hand, or you just like started and like then let's wait and see how the projects come in?
So we started, and we literally, I think when we started, we decided to make a portfolio, of course,
Right.
of our collective works. There were
Which
very
you'd done
few
with other architects.
Yes, our past
Okay.
works, which
Yeah, yeah.
and we'd clearly written
Right, right.
with so and so and with
Right.
so and so, and we literally, I think, went door to door,
Wow.
like Aquaguard boys. Okay, we went to a few builders' offices, and we handed them our printed portfolios.
Wow.
And we never got or heard back anything. And I was like, there goes 7,000 rupees of printing. But anyway, so initially, yes, we did that. But then I think it's always your friends and family that come to your this. And I think our first project was it was a 3 BHK.
Yeah.
It was a 3 BHK in Andheri, which was Huzefa's classmate's elder brother. It was his house. So we've gone on to do more projects for that client as well. But yeah, that was our first project. That was an interior project. And initially at that time, we were also pitching for another project, which was in Chennai, and that was for architecture and interiors. That was about a 20,000 square foot home.
Wow.
And that is the project when I think both of us kind of realized each other's strengths and weaknesses. Because the first time we're working together.
Yeah.
We were always friends and we've always been friends, but we never worked together, right?
Right.
So that's a whole different ballgame.
Was there any time in your partnership, okay? Because if you still ask me, okay, I just feel that partnerships never work. Okay. and it's amazing because I'm seeing a live example in front of me that's been 10 years, and you guys like work as if like it's insane. So throughout these 10 years of your work relationship, have you guys ever felt like chalo, killing, murdering and burning somebody alive is like a different thing, but ke boss khatam, like abhi tu tere raste main mere raste?
Never. At least I don't think so.
No, never.
And
Wow.
I
People are going to take your photos and put in their house and do aarti every day. These two people are working
they
together
can,
for 10
and
years.
we'll be there. In fact, we'll make more money. We'll just sit on a stage and they can come and touch our feet and go. At least the client whose goat has eaten the fees, uska paisa yahan pe mil jayega. But I don't think we've
Now you
ever.
get a lot of goats around.
I know,
you now.
man. I know. No, but we've never felt it.
No,
When we
because-
started, right?
yeah.
I think both our parents, because they, like his mom, my mom, they know that we've been like such thick friends. And the first thing was, friends saate kaam na karai. You cannot work with friends.
Correct.
It's the worst thing to do, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And see, the first 3 months were difficult. It's like, moving into someone and living in with someone the first time. Then you're realizing, that these are
How
things
much
that...
of an asshole the person is.
So it definitely was, but I think that knew that this is our path. It was a collective decision. So after a point in time, and we say this all the time. I mean, his strengths and my weaknesses, my strengths, his weaknesses. So it's just like get rid of the weaknesses, the strengths come in. And that's how you just have double the energy.
I think if we had separate practices, they would be very separate. They would not be.
Yeah.
What Muse is producing today. Right.
I think it'll be very different because I know what he does, I can't do. What I do, he can't do. This is outside of design.
So, a quick question for anyone who's starting to look for a partnership with their best friends or their partner or whoever. Okay, what's your advice in today's day and age?
I think you have to be very focused and very clear that friendship aside, this is your. I mean, friendship aside in the sense, don't let that come in the way of what you're about to create.
Yeah, I think let go of your ego. And I think it's important to understand your partner's strengths. Focus on that. Damn, there are so many things. Yeah,
Tell me. Just give me
but
pointers.
This one
Give me
pointer
10.
thing is
No,
very
give me
annoying.
5 pointers. I don't
Okay.
mind. Give
Okay,
me 10.
How will
Okay.
he edit now?
Yeah. No, he
but
let it.
all
You
this
have
will
to
go.
repeat it again?
No. Just say this Huzefa, this Jasem is giving like these eye rolls and all. Sitting there.
So I'll just tell you the way we work is that we respect each other a lot as friends, as designers, as individuals. Whenever there is a project, we first listen. It's like before I put my point, I listen to him first because it's very important. I am someone who is very impulsive. He is a thinker. Okay, so he might take 2 days. So I'll have to wait for those 2 days. But in those 2 days, I will send him 2,000 messages that do what the fuck, you need to reply to me because that's our conversation. But I think it's important to understand how each one works, right? And that respect has to be like right up there. And at all points in time, think about your brand, your practice, because that's your child. Don't think about yourself. Because a partnership will never work if you just think about this is my project, my design, I've bought the client and this is how I'm going to run my practice. No, it's always about our practice. That's really important.
Key lessons, okay, you separately, okay, that you guys have learned throughout this journey. Key lessons which you had to if you had to advise we'll come there, like what to do, what not to do, but key lessons that you've learned.
I think my biggest lesson I've learned is from Jasem only, that you need to... No, so this is the time when, we would always struggle with what to do, what not to do, especially when it comes to clients, right? And you speak about how there are 10 people and 10 heads and everyone's an architect. And then I think it's something that he learned from a faculty, which he always tells me, is that just learn to choose your battles. So you will always... I mean, there are battles. Every day is a battle, right? But you win some, you lose some. And I think it's more about...
So you have to pick the ones you want to win. You don't have to fight them all.
But it's so difficult to gauge in the first few meetings also. It's like 1 month down the project, you realize कि यार तो अबे war थे. What do you do then?
No, but that's the thing, that it's about...
Yeah, but I don't think it's always
identifying,
about a battle with the client. It's about a battle with something
mind
that you're
also
trying to
sometimes,
resolve,
right?
something that you're facing an issue with on site, Sometimes
Your
you have
team,
to let go, and let go doesn't mean compromising. There is already a solution, and you don't have to reinvent everything.
Sure.
But in that sense, I think the battle part of it.
Cool. And any particular learning that you've had throughout your journey?
Yeah, I think a couple of things when you're working on a project. It is important that we have to sometimes you have to handhold the client if you want your vision to come through, right? So you can't just present and expect them to accept it.
Right.
And this is what I always observe when Huzefa presents to clients. Sometimes I don't think I've ever told him this, but when he's presented, I sometimes feel like, why are you breaking it down so much? Then I realize that he is
going down to the level where he's there.
Yes.
Sure.
And then that's when it made sense that, so I think in that sense, I think you have to see how to communicate to make it easier. Like for some clients, after a meeting or two, you may realize that you don't need that added layer of information that you need to share. But with some, you have to,
Right.
because we tend to take it for granted that they have understood, right? So I think one is you have to handhold. And second is, I feel like when you create something, don't get too attached. Because one is that there could be things like, maybe budget doesn't allow you to build it, or maybe a certain detail doesn't work out, or third, the client doesn't accept it, because at the end of the day, they have to inhabit or they have to use that space. So I would say don't get too attached. That creation or that learning could be applied elsewhere.
So talking about like this, ups and downs and like what practice, like, if you would offer this practice or not and all, how was COVID for you guys? And after COVID?
So
I partly know the answer, but I want you to tell me like how was COVID and after COVID?
So I think the first 6 months, what is March to September, 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, first 6 months, there was no project, no new project. We were just finishing off whatever, of course, sites were shut, but whatever we had on paper, that was going on. And here I think I should give full credit to Huzefa. He had this brilliant idea where all these proposals that we've done over the years, right? So we went back to all those projects and we looked at reworking a lot of their graphics. Okay. And we started putting that out there in the world for people to see. I mean, everyone was online at that moment. And I think that led to one of our first projects during COVID that we got in September.
Wow.
And it's complete now. And I think that kind of opened the doors for us for a lot of projects. And
Yeah.
so I wouldn't say so bad.
No, and see, so what happened was that I think 2 weeks before the lockdown, we started to work from home. So we shifted everything to the cloud and, it was all done. I think our entire team was working from home already. But the bigger challenge for us was to, retain the team so that, we don't let go of anyone. And secondly, ensure that everyone is sane. So we kept them very busy. In spite of them doing their household chores.
Yes.
I think we've had the longest working days during COVID. And that
Wow.
was intentional that, we worked till 2 in the morning. We worked on, I think, almost 6 design competitions. We won 3 of them.
Wow.
And they were all international competitions. So we really kept our team completely engrossed, engaged, that you need to disconnect from all the shit that's going around. I mean, reality was there. Yes, I mean, people have been through losses and,
Yeah, due respect,
hardships
sure.
and whatnot. So we're not taking that away. But I think the bigger thing for us was how do we keep our family, and I mean, our family is our studio, sane, safe, and, completely engaged. So we were like constantly on Zoom, I think we probably had, parched throats at the end of every hour, right? Just because of the amount of Zoom calls that we were on. And
Wow.
our parents would be like, what are you guys doing? And people, so see, it's also, like Jasem said, it's very important to project things that might not be real, and it's okay because projecting all this work out there made people realize that we are doing a lot of work. It also, increased our reach on Instagram because at that time we were putting a lot of work out there, which was probably unbuilt or in progress. And I think that really helped, get so much work that post first lockdown, our team grew a lot.
Wow.
So I was,
Between the first and second lockdown, we
doubled.
We doubled, and we realized that once you're allowed to get back to your office, we realized we're not gonna have space for everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, so which was why then we had to get a new office. But yeah, I think it was good. So it's just that, right? It's about not doubting the situation, but then at least using that, let it challenge you, respond to it. And it's exactly that. It's just about, I think it's because I knew I had him to back me with all these stupid ideas, where he could then, because there are times when he's seen me do things on Instagram, okay, and he'll be like, dude, what? But, I feel now I know before I put something, I know that I've already got Jasem's approval because I'm not doing anything wrong, because I know now how he also thinks and how he knows how I think. So it's there, right? So,
Nice.
yeah.
So I've also heard that you guys have some really cool working hours. and people are super happy with that. Like, like my office, okay? Like, Himangi keeps saying, sir, तुम्हारा French है, कहीं सीखो तुम्हें. Look what they're doing. I was like, रहने यार.
I know Priyanka Piyush tried it, and Priyanka's like, yaar, ye log pure mar gaye yaar, so rahe yaar.
They went
Yeah,
back to
they went back. She tried it for 2 days. She like, by the end of the like, dekh sab lashein yahan pe giri hai, because they were so
I thought they
sleepy.
continued.
No, they're not. They're back to 10 o'clock. Yeah, so we work 8 to 5. Or
Yeah,
8 to
but that-
5:30 or whatever it is. Yeah.
And it's really amazing that people reach in time.
I mean,
Yeah, there is a 30-minute cut-off time, but yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
I think office starts at 8, but people come by 8:30. But then there is like, that's the cutoff. 8:30 is the cutoff. So there's a late mark after that.
Okay.
Karan's not applying.
And I'm not. So we started, we were like, okay, let's do it like from 9 to 6. And then we slowly moved to like 9:30 to 6:30. Okay.
You only must have moved it, I have a feeling.
And I was like pretty okay. Like, you know, like, yeah, you come at 9:30, you do your job and you like, you know,
Yeah.
go away.
Yeah.
And it's also somewhere because of me. Maybe my machine doesn't start in the morning. It's by the evening, and if you make me sit the night, then I'm like at the peak of my creativity. Okay.
You need more projects in Chicago.
So, yeah. Oh yeah, perhaps that is helping, you know. But then we realized that, you know, with that entire bustle to reach in the morning, okay, the night also goes for a toss. Okay, ना कहते they're like, हमें लोग को 9:30 10 बजे आवसु, 7:30 बजे સુધી काम करसु, we'll go home. At least we'll know that we have time. Like we'll spend time with our family. I don't have to check my phone that, oh shit, it is 10 o'clock and I need to go to sleep. So
But then if you're at 5:30, you're done, you're home by 6:30, you have that much time only.
yeah, but you know, sometimes, okay, what do you do when you have like a site visit, and like a site visit, the clients request that हमें 4 आ गया हो, 4:30 7:30. So I've had a person, okay, no grudges, okay, but 6:30 थे, we're still in middle of the meeting, okay. She looks at the time and she's like, it's 6:30, I'm leaving. And my client is looking at me and I was like, okay, sure, no problem. Because what will I tell in front of him, right? And I was like, what the heck? It's a client meeting. You are a part of the team. You're looking at all of this. Okay.
but-
and it is 6:30 and you're telling me, sir, it is 6:30 and I need to leave. Why? Because, of course, due respect. Okay. You have a life of your own outside office. I get it. Okay. You're not sitting and chit-chatting with me in the studio. You're on site. There are 10 people there. Okay. So I was pretty. Do you face like this with your team? Like these new Gen Zs who come in, like will be like, "Itne paise mein itna each."
No, so I think I always tell Jasem that we've always been blessed with amazing people.
Right.
Again, I think it's your vibe attracts your tribe kind of a thing.
He's
But-
not saying good about your vibe.
But no, but I think
No,
Karan,
but the
what's-
rest of them sorted.
No,
Okay.
but Karan, what's important here is that, see, when we even did our 8 to 5:30, after we knew that it's successful and we tried it for 2 weeks, we did send out an email to all our clients telling them about our revised work hours, that we don't work on Saturdays. We do work on alternate Saturdays, but that's more like our time. Because we don't want to engage with clients. We need to spend at least that one day just design, working with the team, whatnot, because during
Sure.
the week it's kind of crazy.
Sure.
The strategy of 8 to 5 was also very, very intentional, because from 8 in the morning till 11 in the morning, no one calls you. No
Right.
sites are open, no contractors call you.
Right.
All the calls start 11 onwards.
Yeah.
So you got those 3 hours. Also, from 8 to 1 o'clock, people have 5 hours of productive work. When people come at 10:30, by the time tea, coffee happens, it's 11. And 11 to 1:30, that's 2.5 hours of work hours. Post lunch, you're sleepy. You don't end up doing efficient. I mean, I think work doesn't start like, 4 till 4 o'clock. So then you got only 4 to 7. So it was strategic. People are happy that, they're missing that rush hour and whatnot. But anyways, when it comes to the clients also, we definitely, even when you're having site meetings, we tell them that our meeting is going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. We do not exceed that unless it's like one of those handovers and you really are over there. Then it's a different thing. But otherwise, even when we have a presentation, like I have a presentation tomorrow.
Yeah, but sometimes even morning timings work for clients because they
Before
come
work
meet
hours
you
or whatever.
before going
Yeah.
to their office.
We have
right?
so many meetings
So
at 8
we
in the
have
morning
8:30 meetings in the office
with our clients.
with our clients.
And when we have presentations also, we tell our clients that please, remove that uninterrupted time from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., it's 3 hours. So they know that we're going to wrap up by 3 p.m.
Right.
Because I have a meeting scheduled at 3. You know, so everything, all our questions, our presentation is timed. So nothing goes beyond that.
Right.
And I think that time management is extremely crucial because then I'm respecting the client's time, the client is respecting my time, you know, and my team also then is working, you know, keeping those things in mind. That they have scheduled everything before and after the accordingly.
And we do some site visits by 8:39 in the morning also.
Wow.
And so your questions might come up, oh, but you know, no one will be there.
Contractor
So
nahi aayega,
we tell the contractors straight away, not everyone needs to be there. The main person, the main contractor needs to be on site. That's it.
Two skills or qualities which are very important and crucial for young professionals.
I can answer.
Yeah, I answer.
I think one is the first one I will say observing and listening, which a lot of people are not doing right now.
Yeah.
Second is reading. People don't read,
Yeah.
which may not be very essential, but I think now even with AI, when you have to type in your prompts, you need to know what to write. Okay. So anyways, but I would say most importantly, patience.
Guys, we're now going to be starting a rapid fire round. There are going to be questions shot to Huzi first. Okay.
Where is the hamper?
You get a hamper if you win. Okay.
Dude, I don't see anything. I just see
So,
like 3
Ruchi-
glasses over here filled with water.
Ruchi is preparing like a hamper which will be delivered to your doorstep.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Okay, so you have to give like cool answers, okay? Like you can't be like boring in your answers.
Karan,
That's-
you're talking
that's
to
good.
us. I think we are the epitome of cool, dude. Like, what the hell?
Okay.
Priyanka's gonna be like, "Ye dono ko chodo, I'm taking
Yeah, she's going to be our next guest. The first or the second. Okay. So starting now, rounds for Huzi. Skyscraper or historical landmark?
Historical landmark.
Name one.
Parthenon.
Okay. Favorite architectural style? Modern, classical, or fusion, or both?
I would say modern.
Dream project location?
Somewhere in the hills.
Jasem. Okay. Architectural innovation you're excited about? Green architecture, smart buildings, or something else?
printing rammed earth. Can you print ram earth?
I don't think so. I think you can ram earth. You
Yeah.
This was me. Yeah, this was me. I win the hamper. What nonsense?
No nonsense. Oh God.
Favorite design principle? Simplicity, harmony, or complexity?
Simplicity.
Architectural pet peeve?
Restraint.
Yeah, very difficult.
Is there an architectural style or design that you have a secret crush on?
Contemporary.
Okay. Share one architectural related confession that your colleagues might find surprising.
That I failed an architectural history class.
Seriously?
Really?
Yeah. I reappeared.
You didn't tell me this before we partnered. What nonsense.
Well, you learn some things later.
You have to wait for this Shu Khabar to happen to learn all this.
Okay, so now that we clearly know that Jasem is winning, you get one more chance.
What the hell?
Okay?
To redeem myself.
Yes.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
So,
Nonsense.
question. Who's the tech guru?
Oh, me, of course.
Okay. Who's the office DJ?
Me.
Okay.
Bad songs.
Who keeps the calm during a stressful situation?
Jasem.
Okay. Who's the coffee addict?
Jasem.
Okay. Who's more dominant?
Me.
Clearly. Who's the night owl?
Me.
Okay. Who's the risk taker?
Jasem.
Okay. Who's the neat freak?
Me. He's also, but I'm like,
Yeah.
like I
This
think
is
I'm like
another
Taylor,
level.
yeah.
Who's the networking pro?
Me.
Who's the early bird?
Jasem.
Who's the multitasker?
Me.
Okay, damn.
I
that
win.
is-
This was rapid.
Yeah, but so yeah, he
This
resp-
was one session.
yeah,
in the
but
whole thing.
yeah, but he was like so quick in
I
giving the
was
answers.
quick.
What were you
I didn't
doing?
even think.
Oh, I thought you were only asking him.
No, I said,
You said
this
I'm
is
giving it-
this is
Oh,
a tie
I didn't
and you
know
guys
that
had to
both of us had to
answer.
answer.
See, isko ye bhi nahi
I
pata.
really
I
didn't
just
know.
should get the
You were
hamper
just
now.
talking to him.
No, he was only answering. Poor guy.
I really didn't know that it was a thing that.
See, Jasem,
Yeah.
अपने ही office में आने वाला है. You take half, I'll take half.
वो fee
No.
खा गया.
No, this
goat खा गया.
50% नहीं चाहिए. ये मेरे को पूरा चाहिए. First of all, what is the fucking hamper? We don't even know. He will give you one laddu.
A jail laddu.
So, whatever is your wish list for your hamper, okay, you can let me know so that Ruchi can listen to this and get it sorted.
10 iPads.
Why 10? We have 20 people at the
Yeah,
office.
so 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
10,
sure.
10.
Ruchi, if you're listening to this, they need like 20 iPads.
This
and
will
their
be your
hamper.
last episode of Shu Khabar.
No more episodes.
You know, when they want instant money, Insta famous, Insta projects, and this and that, okay? And let's face it, that you're a young practice, you're just going to start, okay? There is always a question of how much should I charge my client, okay? Yes, for example, an established practice like a MuseLAB is at an X point, right? But I am starting off, and like you said, that, you know, maybe today I won't go door to door to hand over a catalog, but perhaps I can work on is that to, like you said, get your dues, you know, don't work for free, right? But if I still have to work around, what is the right way to charge anybody, you know?
So the way, at least, okay. Well, sorry, I'm talking to you guys. There are multiple ways that you can charge your fees. But the one thing that you need to consider is what are your outgoings and what are you actually going to be doing with that money. Now, for example, if you know, I am by myself, I don't have any expenses for an office. I'm working from home, and let's say I get a project, and if it is 1,000 square feet project, and assuming I've just started and I really want the project, and I'm going to charge a fee of, let's say, 300 to 500 bucks a square feet, which for a practice that's just starting, you know, let's say you are probably 24, 25, 26, that's a decent fee. Again, I might be wrong in saying that, but this is as per my knowledge. So, and if you for a 1,000 square feet project, you're getting 5 lakhs, and you know, you finish that project, let's say, in maybe a good 6 to 8 months. What you're doing is that you're getting at least an income of maybe 40 to 50,000 per month, or if I'm not wrong, I mean, whatever, you can do the math.
Yeah.
So you can actually figure out that if today you were working with a studio, right? If you're working for an architect as a 25, 26-year-old, how much is it that you would make? You already know what your friends are making. So you can use that as a benchmark and then reverse calculate, because that's very important to understand what your outgoings are going to be. And that can actually lead to your, you know, total fee that you can ask for. And then obviously, I mean, you know, if today you have absolutely no expenses, you know, at the age of 25, 26, you can then charge a slightly lesser fee. I'm not talking about, you know, like sort of charging a fee which is absolutely like, you know, below industry standards. That's, you're going to be doing a disservice to yourself. And, you know, going forward, that will become like your benchmark also. So don't do that. But I think this would be a good way to gauge that.
In this industry where we are all, like you said, it is tough. It's a competition out there where we all are struggling and trying to like get more work or like, you know, get good work and all of that. And in this sort of an age, okay, we speak about collaboration. Okay, I know that you guys collaborate a lot. You guys have collaborated already with other designers, okay, who perhaps do both. Like you guys do architecture and interiors, and some other architect is also doing just interiors or whatever, which is sort of something similar to what your studio does. But I've still seen that you've gone ahead and you've collaborated with such people, right? So what's your take on collaboration?
I think the idea of a collaboration is to collaborate with someone like that will only help make the project better. And by better, I mean will add to the strengths, right? So you need to evaluate the strengths of a collaboration, I feel. And what is it that, you know, say you and I collaborate, what are we bringing to the table? And sometimes it also depends on what the nature of the project is and what that requires.
And thanks, Muse Boys, Huzi and Jas, for coming on this hot seat of our Shu Khabar podcast.
Thank you.
I'm going to play that music now. I'm going to put that music like how it is. Thanks. Hey guys, so I hope that you've really enjoyed this episode with the Muse Boys, my dear friends Huzi and Jas. If there is anything that you'd like to know more from them or about them, I would want you to message me in the comments below and we will get you the answers. And if there is anyone apart from this that you'd like me to call on our hot seat, let me know in the comments and we will get them as our guests here.